Alright, test 1, test 2. Testing, testing. Perfect, there we go. Alrighty, everyone, welcome to NACS. I'm your host, Muse. Tonight, for the second race of our very first season of NACS, we're going to be racing at the Canadian Grand Prix here in Montreal. Joining us tonight, we have 9 exceptional drivers who hopefully are going to put on a show for us. We are a no assist league here on F123 and are still looking for, we got about a couple more seats that are still available. So if you're interested, message me, Muse, or Pete the Newfie, either on Xbox or Discord, and we'll get you set up with a seat to race with us. We race 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Saturday evening. But here we go. It's going to be a tough qualifying here in Canada. The track limits here are pretty brutal. Very, very brutal. Some of the most brutal in the entire game, I would say. So get ready to see a lot of people invalidate their runs. And besides that, we also have a couple new faces here tonight. Joining Rilio, who raced with us last week in the Ferrari. Join him in the Ferrari. We have Chris W04, who's going to be his teammate in the Ferrari. We still have Vodka Victory in the Aston Martin, but now his teammate Great Ace is here in the Aston Martin as well. We have Druply, aka Trey, here in the Mercedes, and he has a new teammate now as well with Overlord. Slingshot, still here in the Alfa Romeo. Pete's still here in the Red Bull, though his teammate Smoke, aka Blackstappen, is still not here. Is not here tonight. Was here last week. But we also have, welcome to NACS, Crispy Crunch in the Haas. His teammate Zoom Zoom not here tonight. Gone a little bit of a vacay, so enjoy your vacay. Zoom Zoom. Hopefully we'll see you next week for Baku. But here we go. Drivers are all heading out now to get their first banker laps in, so they at least get some kind of time set. Let's go. Let's see who is on the way out. Mercedes, Aston, Red Bull, and Ferrari. Already on the way out. Apologies, folks. You hear me cough a little bit tonight. I am still getting over a bit of a cold, head cold I had over this week. But fortunately, it's fine. It's mostly gone now, so I'm feeling a lot better. Just turn this up a little. There we go. Alright, so looking here, it looks like Vodka Victory in the Aston Martin, as per usual, is going to be the first person to start a hot lap. At least what we're led to believe, so we're going to hold on with him now here first. Though Overlord and Pete are not too far behind. They'll be the next ones to keep an eye on. But here we go. Coming into turn 1 here now. Vodka gets lucky, doesn't go over that left-hand curve too much. Very easy spot to invalidate right there if you're not careful. Another easy spot to invalidate, and he goes right over the curb. And like I just said, that is a extremely easy spot to invalidate, so he's going to have to go around again. Hopping on with Pete here now, who's also starting a hot lap. Keeping it together so far. Overlord also out as well right now, also putting a lap down. Checking with Overlord, who currently also has made it through Sector 1 clean. But here comes another easy spot to invalidate right here at the end of the DRS zone. Not too careful. But he keeps it together. Coming down to the hairpin. Here he goes. He's going to come right up now. All he has left is the final chicane in order to get this lap time set. So let's see. Moment of truth. Can he do it? And he does. He keeps it within the lines. And Overlord is going to post the first time. And it's going to be an astoundingly fast 110.8. Pete's going to cross the line here now as well. He's going to put a time on the board. He's going to put a 112.9 up. There is Overlord with a 110.8. That is going to be a tough time to beat, I would say. Great Ace, 118.4, way off the pace right now. At the moment, though still hasn't used any ERS, so that was just an outlap for him. He's going to go around one more time before he starts his hot. Crispy Crunch crossing the line as well with a 111.2. Only a couple tenths off of Overlord. So looking very close to Overlord at the moment. 110.8, 111.2. Not bad at all. Only a couple tenths off. He's right up there. And we have Vodka Victory post his first hot lap, of the session. 112.1. Just barely not able to make it into the 111s. Drupley as well posted a very similar time, 112.2. But Crispy Crunch and Overlord have the times to beat at the moment. Still a couple people that got to put times on the board. Both Ferraris and Slingshot. We're holding on with Chris W right now. He's coming around the hairpin. Like you said, only has a chicane left really to set a time here. So as long as he keeps it together, he will set his first time of the qualifying here. So let's see what Chris can do. And he keeps it together, just as Overlord did prior, and he's going to cross line with a 111.2. Amazing stuff. Good job to Chris. Posting just a barely faster lap time to Mr. Crispy Crunch. Right up there as well with a 111.2. But both of them are still a couple tenths off of Overlord. Let's look and see. We got any other... Yes, Slingshot now finally has a time on the board of 117.6, but still way off everyone else at the moment. Only person left to post a time now is Rilio in the Ferrari, who still remains in the pits. Let's see here now. Pete the Newfie, though, made his way into the 111s. Good stuff to Pete. 111.6. Now only a couple tenths off of Crispy Crunch and Chris. But all of them, they're within a second of Overlord, but they're still a few tenths off. With 10 minutes to go in the qualifying. Vodka Victory has now also joined Pete in the 111s, 111.9. But these new kids on the block are fast. They are up there. And we just noticed there, Slingshot and Great Ace both improved their times. They're in the 113s. Slingshot ever so slightly faster than Great Ace, so he is holding the position over him at the moment. But we'll wait and see if Great Ace can fight back. Take the position back from Sling. slingshot coming off of his podium last week at Circuit of the Americas. He's already got some good points off that first race, and he's looking to carry that through for the entirety of the season. Currently been the only one repping Alfa Romeo right now. Druply still going around. Looks like he's trying to see. He is using ERS now. Okay, so Druply, he went around a couple laps to get ERS safe back up again, get the heat in his tires at the right amount, and now Druply is going for a hot lap here. We'll see if he can improve and get into the 111s with the rest of the guys. Rilio is now on his outlap. He is out of the pits. With 8 minutes left in the qualifying, he still has to try to set a time, or else he is going to be starting from the back. Here we go. Druply comes through the chicane, but he invalidates. Poor Druply invalidates right at the end there. That would have been a 111.9 for him. Flat, so he actually would have moved up ahead of Vodka there. Just barely would have moved ahead of Vodka, but he invalidated. That chicane is brutal. It is where good runs go to die. Meanwhile, Overlord is now back out on another hot lap here once again. Already posting a purple Sector 1. Looks like he is flying right now. Here we go, another purple sector for Overlord. Looks like he's going to improve his provisional pole time even more. His teammate Druply moving out of the way for him. Here he goes through the chicane. Keeps it together. Overlord is going to cross the line with a 110.4. Improves his time by 4/10. And it looks like Chris is having troubles there. He's spun out in Sector 1. He has a Mercedes coming up behind him. Mercedes of Overlord. Fortunately, Overlord was not on a hot lap, so it didn't matter. He got his time on the board. But, wow. That is a crazy time there from Overlord. Everyone else all fairly close within the 111s. But Overlord almost a full second faster than second and third right now. And over a second faster than fourth and fifth. Kinda crazy. Kinda crazy. Looks like Vodka Victory has invalidated. He's going to have to go around again here. Pete the Newfie currently on a hot lap coming through Sector 2. Going up to the end of the DRS zone. Keeps it together. There is a car ahead of him. Is that Rilio, I wonder? Or is it Chris? And no, it is Rilio that's ahead of Pete the Newfie right now. Looks like Pete is trying to get some more ERS saved up, some more batteries, so that he can go for another run here. Here he goes. Pete is going to try to have another run at it. Meanwhile, oh, Chris completely cutting the corner. Jeez. So is Vodka. Vodka's invalidated again. We're going to hold on with Slingshot for the moment, as it looks like Slingshot is having a pretty good Sector 1 right now, with less than 5 minutes left of the qualifying. Spaced out there for a second, but it looks, sorry folks, but it looks like Slingshot, unfortunately, is not going to improve his time. Lost a lot of time there down by the hairpin. Drupally is on a new hot right now, though, trying to get the lap that he could have had earlier. It says it's a purple Sector 2. Not sure if that's game bugging or if Drupally actually just had an amazing Sector 2 that time. I guess we're about to find out. Comes up to the chicane again, where he failed before. Can Drupally get it this time? And yes, he does. He's going to cross the line. Will he improve? Yes, he will, but it's not going to be enough to move up at 112.1. Still stuck behind Vodka Victory with 3 minutes left of the qualifying. Pete the Newfie currently up a couple tenths. Looks like he's trying to save some time, seeing if he can move up and try to get on the front row. But no one has come remotely close to Overlord right now in terms of raw qualifying pace. But no, Pete is just going to go into the pits. Vodka's still invalidated, having a lot of trouble with track limits, it looks like. Slingshots with 2 minutes left of qualifying, still holding that position over Great Ace. But we are, we are going to hold on with Great Ace here, though, as it looks like he might be going for a hot lap here. Yes, he is. Trying to improve his position. It's going to be hard to gain over anyone else, but he is going to try to fight to take his position away from Slingshot. Oh, but he hits the wall. Right there. But fortunately, he's still not invalidated from that. He's going to keep going. With a minute and a half remaining, Overlord and Chris are now back out once again. Trying to secure pole position. Both of them on their hots, their final hot laps, it looks like. Because they're going to have all their battery used up. They're not really going to get another chance after this. Here we go. Overlord is going through the chicane and he invalidates. Unfortunately for Overlord, he invalidates, but he's still holding that pole position. So that is going to be it for Overlord. He's just going to have to hope that his time holds, and that will be good enough. Chris, unfortunately, that looks like Chris is going to. Oh no, actually, Chris is going to have one more opportunity. He saved up his battery, so he'll have one more shot at this here. Now, going through. Meanwhile, Crispy Crunch just posted a purple Sector 2. And he is trying to move up over Chris. So let's see what Crispy Crunch can post here. Coming up to the chicane. Can he keep it within the lines? Yes, he does. Crispy Crunch crosses the line with a 111.1. Saves a tenth off his time. and manages to move up position over Chris, though Chris is on one final hot lap here, so Chris could steal the position right back from him. So that's going to be it for the guys at the back. Rilio will be starting from the back in the Ferrari. Slingshot starting in 8th in the Alfa Romeo. So those two are set at the back at the moment. Let's see, Chris coming up to the chicane, looking to take that position back from Crispy Crunch. Let's see, can Chris do it? But unfortunately, oh, it's just barely not enough for Chris. Just barely not enough. Pete the Newfie now going to cross the line in his attempt to post one final time, one final improvement. And ever so slightly, Pete improves by 1/10 to 111.5, but it's not going to be enough to gain any more positions. So Pete the Newfie will start from 5th. And that's going to be it for the qualifying. Overlord is going to start on the front row from pole with Crispy Crunch. Chris just ever so slightly starting on row 2 with Vodka. Crazy, just a couple thousandths between Crispy Crunch and Chris. That was wild. That was absolutely wild between the two of them. Look how close that was. And then Pete and Druply going to start 5th and 6th. Great Ace did manage to gain, just ever so slightly gain the position back from Slingshot, so he is going to start 7th, like I said, with Slingshot. And Rilio starting at the back in 9th. But of course, like I said, the track limits with Canada are brutal, so it's all going to come down to the penalties and who can be the most consistent. You can have an amazing qualifying one lap pace, but that doesn't mean it's going to translate to the full race if you're spinning out all over the place. But we can see the actual gaps there. So, but it looks like everyone was at least 7/10 off of Overlord's time. That is wild. But other than that, everyone else was pretty close there in the top. Pete a couple tenths off Vodka, but Vodka, Chris, and Crispy Crunch all fairly close there. Within like 2/10 of each other. So that is cool to see. And Great Ace and Slingshot also very similar pace there as well. But with that, folks, this is when the drivers like to take a quick little 5-minute intermission to prepare themselves for the full race. So I will see you guys back here in 5 minutes time for the full 35 lap race at Canada. Alrighty, and we're back, folks. Just here doing a quick formation lap. Now that they've fixed that annoying glitch that was in the game since launch. Everything should be good now with the formation, according to their patch notes and in testing that we've done. But yeah, so no one, no one starting on the hards for their first stint today, and I think that just goes to show how different this game is from 22. In 22, I'm sure we'd see like half the grid at least on hards right now, but not too big of a difference between the mediums and the hards in this year's game. Most people opting to start in the yellows, though we do have Overlord looking to defend his position starting on the softs. And Chris also starting in the softs looking to attack Crunch off the beginning. And Rilio at the very back starting on softs as well, looking to save some time on the people ahead of him. "35 laps. We'll see what people decide to do. But it's just cool to see, though. We got 5 different teams all in the top 5. You gotta love it. And here we go. Start your engines. And it's lights out and away we go. Here at the Canadian Grand Prix. Overlord already trying to get away from the Haas. He doesn't want any part of that. Oh, but contact between the Haas and the Ferrari right out the gate there. Between Chris and Crunch, that's going to hurt his race completely there. That's definitely going to get looked at later by the stewards. Vodka Victory taking advantage of this, moving his way all the way up to second. Pete Danufi now on the back of the Ferrari. But yeah, huge incident there between the Haas and the Ferrari. Definitely going to be an incident for the stewards to look over there, that's for sure, as to what exactly happened there. But even Great Ace here now, getting a position over the Haas as well. Crunch dropping all the way down to 7th. He has the pace to regain the positions, but he's going to have to keep it clean. Though it looked like it was the Ferrari's fault, but again, that'll be down to the stewards to decide. Pete Danufi now in 4th, like I said, just trailing just behind Chris, who is on the faster tires. Overlord currently already 2.5 seconds ahead of Vodka, who is in 2nd. But behind Vodka, everyone is still pretty bunched up. Getting a little spaced out there. Vodka is managing to pull some time on Pete, it looks like. But good stuff to Pete. He has managed to pass Chris. But Chris is not too far behind, and he's on the faster tires, so he's going to have to be careful. Drupally also just behind Chris as well in the Mercedes. So see here now. It looks like Chris is looking for a moment to strike on Pete Danufi. Meanwhile, Overlord has already pulled, by lap 2, has already pulled 4 seconds on the car behind. Which is crazy. There we go, Chris passing, even though there's no DRS there yet, he passes Pete Danufi there in the DRS zone cleanly. Moves up ahead back to 3rd. Overlord currently sets the fastest lap of the race with 1:14.8, but that's sure to change. The DRS now being enabled. And Crispy Crunch gaining a position there over Great Ace. He is looking to regain those positions that he lost earlier. Oh, looks like the fighting with the Mercedes and the Ferrari there. Chris now dropping behind both Pete and Drupally down into 5th. Great stuff to Drupally there, moving himself up into 4th. He's now in DRS of Pete. And you might try to make a move on him as well. So these 3 guys are the cars to watch at the moment. But great start for Vodka Victory. He profited so well off of that incident. So we're going to hold on here with Chris, who is in behind Pete and Drupally, looking for an opportunity. Lap 4, no one's got any penalties yet, but it's a long race and the track limits are brutal here, so I don't think it will take too long for us to see our first penalty. But now, as we can see, Crispy Crunch has managed to catch back up and is now within the DRS train that these 3 cars got going on. Here we go. Huge battle here between the 3 guys. Coming up to the end of the DRS zone. Drupally manages to pull ahead there in the DRS zone ahead of Pete the Newfie. He moves up into 3rd now. And he's going to try to see if he can get clear in open air, if he can get clear of the others behind. But like I said, Crispy Crunch is right there now. He's right behind Chris in the Haas. You can see right there. And look at all 4 of these cars going at it here. Slingshot picks up the first 3-second time penalty of the session. Huge move for Chris there. Moves himself up into 3rd. The Red Bull, Pete the Newfie, all 3 of these guys going around. First turn, oh, the Haas though. Makes a bit of an error there. Loses a bit of traction. Loses all those positions. Falls down behind Drupally now. Back, Crunch now back into 6th. Pete the Newfie is now chasing Chris in the Ferrari. Just back and forth between all 4 of these guys right now. The other 2 guys are gone, but these 4 are having fun. Vodka Victory in 2nd now, 7 seconds behind the leader. Oh, this is ridiculous. Overlord is crazy. Drupally, my guy. We got some words, my friend. But, here we go. Down into the hairpin. Coming up to the DRS zone. Waiting to see what can happen here. Like I said, Slingshot is the first to pick up a time penalty. That is going to hurt him, especially if he wants to gain a position over Great Ace. No one close enough to try for anything there in the DRS zone that time. Let's see here. Oh, the Ferrari and the Red Bull going side by side there. And Pete the Newfie manages to take 3rd position away from Chris. Pete moves up into 3rd. And this is a battle. Right now, this is looking like a battle for the podium right here between all 4 of these guys. All of them want to talk to me so badly after the race. But there we go. Great Ace also picks up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. And Chris in the Ferrari is sending it down into the hairpin. Going side by side with Pete the Newfie now in the DRS zone. Chris is going to have DRS though. Pete is not, as we can see there. So Chris is going to take 3rd back from Pete. But like we said, Chris is on the soft, so he will have to pit before Pete as well. And those softs aren't going to last much longer. I wouldn't say. They're not going to last a long time here. Slingshot now takes 7th, as you can see in the back there. Slingshot takes 7th. Back from Great Ace. But Great Ace is still hot on his tail there. Pete the Newfie looking to take the position back from the Ferrari. While Druply and Crunch are just following behind, waiting to see what happens between these two. And we got the Red Bull and the Ferrari coming through the DRS zone now. Pete uses DRS to retake third from Chris. These two so close to each other right now. Absolutely insane. Here we go. Down to the hairpin. The two go side by side once more. Up into the DRS zone. Pete still holds third at the moment, though. And 8 laps in, looks like Overlord isn't extending his advantage. But Chris takes third away from Pete once more. These two are just back and forth at the moment. Can't take our eyes off it. But as I was saying, Overlord is still gaining some tenths on Vodka. But we'll see how long those softs of his last before they start falling off and Vodka starts gaining some time on him. What a crazy scrap between these guys right now. We also have Great Ace and Slingshot, two of these good friends battling it out here at the back. We're just taking a look here now. Great Ace is trying to pick his moment wisely, though. Slingshot got like almost double the DRS what Great Ace has right now though. Double the ERS, I should say, sorry. But unfortunately, Great Ace still not able to get by him there in that DRS zone. Right there. Both have time penalties now, so it's completely fair between the two of them. But right there on the chicane, Chris picks up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. So that is going to cost him by the end of this race. That might ruin his chances of finishing on the podium in his first race of NACS. But all the others behind him are all in the yellows. His reds are also going to start to fall off here now very shortly. They're not going to last much longer. Meanwhile, Pete the Newfie is saving up ERS, waiting for his moment to strike. And there we go. Oh! Incident there. All 4 of these cars going down to the hairpin. Bumps, little bumps and gripes there. The Ferrari sends it down into the hairpin there once again to go side by side with Pete. Looks like Crunch is trying to take the position from Druply as well. All 4 of these guys just having a crazy time here right now. Absolutely insanity. Oh! Almost free wide there. But Chris still holding the lead of this battle. Ferrari, it looks like he's going to go into turn 1 with the Red Bull of Pete the Newfie. But he's not. Pete takes the lead now. All these guys back to back. We're already at lap 10. Doesn't even feel like it. Oh my goodness. But there we go. Oh, all the penalties. All the penalties start flying in right there as soon as it came to the downhill section. Ferrari not having a great exit there. Pete manages to pull away. I have to be careful not to lose traction there. So now Druply is having a run at the Ferrari. But unfortunately has to cut the curb. Misses his braking point. That's going to cost him. Now he's going to drop down behind Chris and Crunch. Crunch going down here now side by side with Chris. Up to the DRS zone. He's going to have DRS on him, so Crunch is going to take that position, move up into 4th, so he can try to chase Pete the Newfie down. Overlord has decided to pit. He went 10 laps on the softs yet, and there goes Chris into the pits as well. So both Chris and Overlord getting off their softs right now. So that's going to put a little halt to the crazy battle now. It's going to be a fight between Crunch and Pete the Newfie. The advantage Crunch has here, though, is that Pete has already acquired a free second time penalty. And so has Druply. I didn't really have time to mention it there, but yeah, so going down there, both Pete and Druply got their third warning there, so they both picked up a free second time penalty. But Crunch has not. He still has not picked one up yet. He has DRS here now on Pete the Newfie. But he's not going to be able to go for a move on him just yet. Probably going to have to wait until the next DRS zone. But that was a wild battle there for those whole first 10 laps. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. And now it looks like Druply has come out on the softs. Chris has come out on the yellows, and so has Overlord, who still came out of the pits. Overlord came out of the pits in second, currently 3.5 seconds behind Vodka Victory. But he is quickly gaining on Vodka Victory, as he definitely has a pace advantage. Just to check, let's check fastest laps at the moment. And if we look there, Pete 115.4, Crunch 115, not too big of a difference between half second difference between two of them at the moment. Chris around there, but he was on the faster tires. Around Crunch, but he was on the faster tires. Same thing with Druply. The only person who's way up there is Overlord, who is about Overlord is a second faster than everyone else at the moment. As you can see, was lapping 113s on those reds. But again, Overlord was also on the faster tire too, so we have to keep that in mind as well. But there we go. Overlord posts a new fastest lap time of 113.4 on the yellows. So never mind, I take that back, because now, yeah, his fast lap time is literally 2 seconds faster than Pete the Newfie. I don't know about that. I really don't know about that. But as you can see, he's already caught back up to the back of Vodka Victory in the Aston Martin. Almost gets really close to him there. Coming up to the DRS. Chris is also behind Great Ace now. Vodka Victory right there, as we saw from Overlord's perspective. There we go. That's his third warning. So Vodka Victory picks up a 3 second time penalty for multiple warnings. That's going to cost him as well. Overlord goes down into the hairpin with Vodka Victory. And he manages to pull ahead of him. But Vodka is going to go side by side with him here, though. And Vodka takes the lead back from him. But Overlord is going to have DRS on Vodka here, and he has ERS to spare. And here he goes. He's going to go side by side with Vodka down into turn 1. And Overlord retakes the lead of the race from Vodka Victory, and still has not acquired any penalties for track limits. Only the people who haven't are Crispy Crunch and Rilio, who is at the back, way behind everyone else doing his thing, but still has not acquired any penalties. Great Ace has also now decided to pit to get off the yellows. Closest gap at the moment is Pete the Newfie here, who is just barely outside Crunch's DRS range now that Crunch has gotten past him. But they're still ways off the two guys in the front. But unfortunately, Pete has lost some time there to Crunch, a lot actually. Didn't do too well at last lap. Yellow flags going on in Sector 1 though. Not sure what's happening there. But Chris is now almost within DRS range of Slingshot ahead. So he is going to look to get past the Alfa Romeo here coming up here now. Everyone ahead of Chris, other than Overlord, still needs to pit. So he's still not in a bad position at the moment. And he's going to have DRS on the Alfa Romeo there. But unfortunately isn't going to be able to go for a move there just yet. But it looks like he is going to send it there down into the hairpin. And gains the position over Slingshot. Moves up to 5th. And it's going to look to gain time over the people who are ahead of him. But there we go. Seeing that, Pete the Newfie pulls into the pits there. The pit for fresh, soft tires. And looks like Drupally is behind Slingshot now. Drupally's going to look to gain the position over him as well here. Oh, what a move there from Drupally. Gets it from Slingshot right there. Unfortunately, it looks like Slingshot just doesn't have the pace here tonight at Canada that he had at Coda, I'm afraid. But we shall see. Pete the Newfie. Pete the Newfie now out on the soft tires as well. 16 laps into this race. We shall wait and see. Overlord has now started to extend his gap over Vodka Victory even more, especially since Vodka still has to pit, as we're going to see here now. Crispy Crunch, though, picks up a free second time penalty for multiple warnings, so he's now joined the penalty party. So, everyone besides Overlord and Rulio now has a penalty. As we expected, there was going to be a lot of penalties tonight. And Slingshot picks up another free second time penalty. So that's going to add his total to 6 seconds. So now that Vodka Victory has also pit for fresh soft tires, he has come out in 4th, just ahead of Drupally. Crunch still needs to pit, and he just picked up a free second time penalty, like I said, so he's joined the party. But now, oh, Rillio picks up a free second time penalty. Okay, so now everyone except Overlord has a time penalty. Overlord currently leading the race by 17 seconds. Way, way, way ahead of everyone. But we'll see here now. Crunch still needs to pit. But there we go. Crunch decides to pit now. Pulls into the pits. I imagine we'll see what he's going to go to here now as well. That's going to move everyone up a bit. Crunch is going to go to the hards to finish the race on. So it looks like Crunch... It looks like some of these guys are opting for the two-stop strategy, but Crunch is just going to go for the one-stop strategy here tonight, it seems. Just going to be a one-stop strat for Crunch on the hard tires. And we'll see how that works out for him. So let's put him out into 7th here now, just behind Slingshot. So he's going to have to get past the Alfa Romeo to continue on his run. But there we go. Crunch gets past Slingshot, moves up into 6th. Him, Grace, and Rilio all stuck behind the others right now. But Vodka Victory is just barely outside of Chris's DRS range right now. So Vodka is going to look to try to gain that position on Chris. Overlord now has a 25-second lead to the rest of the pack. Just want to throw that out there. But here we go. Vodka Victory is now within DRS range of Chris. He's going to have DRS here now. Going into this DRS zone. But he's not going to be close enough to do anything just yet. He's going to have to wait till the next one. But everyone other than Slingshot only has 3 seconds time penalty, so they're all basically on equal ground right now. Vodka breaks a little late there, unfortunately isn't able to do anything off of that. 15 laps to go here in this race. Here at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. But there we go. Vodka Victory uses his DRS and pulls ahead of Chris up into second. Ferrari goes over the curb there. I'd be surprised if he didn't get a warning for that. But Chris still in contention for a podium here tonight, but he will most likely have to pit again. He's already got 9 laps on these yellows, just like Overlord. So both of these guys will probably have to pit again before the race is over, I would say. All clean though so far. No safety cars yet so far this race. Everything all hunky-dory at the moment. Chris does have DRS on Vodka, but he's still way too far back to do anything about it. And these guys are all still 25 seconds behind Overlord. Just want to throw that out there again. Here we go. Chris is still keeping on the heels of Vodka Victory. Still trying to put pressure on him. But he is almost out of ERS now, going through this DRS zone. Still unable to do anything about it. We check here now, but Vodka is also low on ERS right now, so both these guys are going pedal to the metal using all the ERS they have right now. Meanwhile, Pete the Newfie, oh no! Pete the Newfie has lost it in Sector 2 and has dropped down to 6. Lost a position there to Crispy Crunch, I'm afraid. Oh no, what happened there with Pete the Newfie? He just lost traction there. Coming through Sector 2. And now he's down in 6th, and he's going to have to work to recover that. And he's on the soft, so he's going to have to pit another time. He's going to have to pit again this race, so we'll see where he ends up. That could really hurt his championship chances. Crispy Crunch, though, he's lucky, though, because Crispy Crunch also picks up another 3-second time penalty. So that will help his cause by the end of this race. That might help him gain another position. Because if we take a look there, if I'm correct, yeah. Crunch and Slingshot, the only two to have 6 seconds of time penalties at the moment. But Crunch is not going to have to pit again, so he does have that in his favor. Chris has now started losing some significant time to Vodka Victory now. Almost 2 seconds behind him. everyone getting fairly spaced out here now. We got 13 laps left of this race. Closest gap still Chris to Vodka, though he has fallen off a bit. Pete the Newbie now even further behind Crispy Crunch. But actually, let's hop on with Great Ace here right now. Great Ace, who's actually now, because of Pete's incident, is now only 4.5 seconds behind Pete. Rilio there, though, picks up another 3-second time penalty, so that's up to his total to 6 now as well. He is currently at the back, way behind everyone else in 9th. But like you said, there's only 9 people here tonight, so he is still going to get some points. But it does not look like he's going to gain any positions over on anyone due to being so far back. But like I said, Great Ace is now not too far behind Pete, honestly. Enough to where it could make the difference, because Great Ace might not have to pit again in this race, but Pete definitely does. So that could help Great Ace here. Druply, like we just said about people doing 2-stop strategies, Druply pulls into the pits. So that is going to be Druply's second and final pit stop of the race. He's going to come out of the pits on a second set of softs. And let's see how close it's going to be between Druply and Great Ace here coming out of the pits. But Druply does manage to come out of the pits just ahead of Great Ace. So now on fresh softs, he's going to chase Pete down once again. But there we go. Overlord also pulls into the pits again. So Overlord also doing a two-stop strategy, but he basically has a free pit stop. Overlord basically with a free pit stop over everyone else, so he's going to pit to an extra set of softs to finish the race as well. And we'll hold on here to see. He's coming out of the pits here now. There comes the Aston Martin of Vodka Victory. But yeah, there he goes. There goes Overlord. So he did have a free pit stop to everyone else. Even after his pit stop, Vodka Victory still 5 seconds behind him. So super free pit stop for Overlord there. No reason not to do it. But now Chris and Pete have also pit for their second set of softs on their second pit stop to finish the race. So as we can see here now, as I was saying, Chris gets a 5-second penalty for crossing the pit lane exit line. You got to be careful about that. The game will nail you on that. And Rilio picks up his third time penalty, so he's up to 9 seconds now. But Great Ace is currently ahead of Pete the Newbie now that Pete has pit for his softs. So now Pete is back in 7th. So Pete is going to have to try to gain the position back from Great Ace. And Chris is now trying to fight to get within DRS range of Druply so he can gain that position back before the end of the race. But Vodka Victory picks up a 5-second penalty. He goes into the pits for his 2-stop strategy, and he picks up a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane, because that line on Canada is right away. Straight away. So, yeah, that's going to hurt. So we're going to do a little penalty review here. So Vodka Victory has now brought himself up to 8 seconds of time penalties. There goes Crispy Crunch. So that is not good for Vodka. That could actually cost him a podium here tonight, if he's not careful. That very well could cost him a podium. With Druply and Chris not too far behind. So he's going to have to fight to stay on the podium here tonight. But Chris just posted a purple sector 1 now, has managed to get himself within DRS range of Druply. And he's doing a pretty good, darn good job, I'm going to say. Overlord posted an even faster lap at 113.1 on the softs. But Overlord, there we go. Overlord finally picks up a 3-second time penalty. He joins everyone else. Everyone got at least one time penalty tonight. Gets a 3-second time penalty. Not like it's going to make much of a difference to him, but it does to Chris there, who picks up another 3-second time penalty there at the final chicane. So now, but Chris does take fastest lap away from Overlord with 112.7. Wicked lap from Chris there. Good stuff. But he is now up to 11 seconds of time penalties. And Great Ace has gone for the 2-stop as well. Pitting for a set of softs to finish the race. So he's going to come out of the pits behind Slingshot. Chris still within DRS of Drupally. But, like I said, he has to cut the corner there. I'm afraid Overlord takes the fastest lap back from Chris. 112.2. What a lap. Let's look at that real quick. 112.2. Fastest other people have done right now is Chris with a 112.7, Overlord 112.2. Crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. But Chris has unfortunately now fallen out of DRS range with Drupally. But Vodka Victory is now almost within DRS of Crunch, who's on the hard tires. So Vodka looks like is gonna fight Crispy Crunch here for its second position as Pete the Newbie picks up another time penalty, so he's now up to 6 seconds as well. They're in 6th place, way behind everyone. Great Ace is now within DRS of Slingshot, so he's going to look to gain a position on him here as well. Here he goes in the Aston Martin, putting the pressure on the Alfa Romeo. Here he goes in the DRS zone. He makes the move, gets past Slingshot, moves up into 7th. Good stuff to Great Ace. Meanwhile, Vodka Victor now on the heels of Crispy Crunch. Not too far off. Gonna look to get past. But Vodka, unfortunately, does pick up a 3-second time penalty again as well. So, look at penalties again here. Vodka Victory has now himself also mustered up to 11 seconds of time penalties, just like Chris. So even if he gets by Crispy Crunch here, which looks like he's going to try to in the DRS zone, even if Vodka is able to get past the Haas, he still has 11 seconds of time penalties, while the Haas only has 6. So that is unfortunately still, he would have to get past Crunch and gain a 5-second lead on him when we're almost down to the final 5 laps here now. Here he goes in the DRS zone. Crunch is defending well. Vodka gets a little bit of wheel spin there, I'm afraid, and that's going to drop him off there. So yeah, it looks like that's going to be it for Vodka Victory, and if he's not careful, it could cost him. It could cost him the podium finish here as well, as Drupally is not too far behind, and if we take a look at the penalties, Drupally still only has 3 seconds, so yeah. It looks like Vodka might lose that podium position to Drupally here tonight. Overlord now has a 30-second gap to the rest of the pack. Absolutely crazy. Super fun to watch. Here we go. Vodka Victory, though, he's still trying, he's trying to put on a show here. I applaud him for that, but that speeding in the pit lane penalty is going to cost him bad here tonight. Rilio picks up another 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Vodka is going to have DRS on the Haas here. He's going to fly right up to him, fly by him. So Vodka manages to take the position from Crunch, who's on the 12-lap old hards. But if Vodka wants to gain a gap on the people behind him, he's going to have to do it now when he has pretty well open air. Or else this podium for him is going to be done. He has to... Right now his battle isn't even with gaining a gap to Crunch, it's more with gaining a gap to Drupally, so he at least gets 3rd place instead of 4th. So we'll see what happens here. This is the battle for the podium tonight between these guys. But the Crunch cuts the corner there. That is going to cost him. That's definitely going to give him another warning there for sure. But we're going to look at the penalties again. Crunch with 6 seconds. If he gets another warning penalty, that'll take him to 9 seconds. So Vodka would still have to have the 2-second lead on him to gain the position. But Crunch is not letting up. Though he has used basically all his ERS, but so has Vodka Victory. Great Ace picks up another 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. So if we take a look here with him and Slingshot at the back there, him and Pete and Slingshot, they're all at 6 seconds of penalties now, so they're all basically even at the moment. Crunch has started to fall out of Vodka Victory's DRS range now, though. He is losing some time to him, but not enough to where it'll matter. There's only 3 laps left of the race here now. And Vodka is, not only is he might be saving time on Crunch, but Drupally is still there on those softs as well, and he is he's closed the gap to Vodka even more, I think. Well, then again, actually, if we look here, 5.6 seconds, about 5.5 seconds. So never mind. Technically, Vodka is pulling some good time. But at the same time, like I'm saying, Drupally is getting closer to Crunch, so it is still possible. Vodka has the gap he needs to Drupally at the moment, but it's going to be tough. Like I said, he's not going to be able to keep this position from Crunch. Crunch is easily going to get the the position over Vodka here, but due to that speeding in the pit lane penalty, but Vodka is going to fight to at least finish on the podium and keep the position over Drupally. Here we go, 2 laps remaining in the race, though. Looks like that was the Aston Martin lapping the Ferrari there, but Chris picks up another 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, so we gotta check the penalties now. Chris has now got himself up to 14 seconds of time penalties to Pete the Newfies, 6 seconds. So if we're taking a look at that there, that is a 8-second difference there between Pete the Newfie and Chris now in terms of penalties. An 8-second difference, but unfortunately Pete picks up another 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, so it's not really going to matter now at this point, because if Pete wanted to gain that position on Chris, he would have to lower the gap to Chris to like less than 5 seconds, which it does not look like that's going to happen. So unfortunately, that is not the case. Coming down to the final lap of the race here now. We're keeping an eye on these penalties because these are going to decide everything here at the end. Like I said, Vodka Victory has 11 seconds of penalties. Crunch at 6. Oh, never mind. Drooply only has 3. Yeah, so unfortunately, it looks like Vodka Victory is going to actually miss out on, due to the penalties, is going to miss out on the podium to Drooply. Looks like Drooply is going to finish on the podium with Crunch. But there we go. Overlord crosses the line. He is your race winner tonight. I don't understand why we keep getting these super fast guys in these Mercedes seats. Holy cow. It's actually insane. He crosses the line to win the race. So it looks like that's going to be it for Great Ace and Slingshot as well. Great Ace finishing in 7th. Great Ace finishing in 7th. Slingshot finishing in 8th. And Rilio finishing in 9th. Meanwhile, here we go. These guys are going to cross the line. Oh, it looks like some more, yeah, the unserved penalties are coming into play here. So, yeah, Crunch is going to finish 2nd. But Vodka Victory still manages somehow to finish on the podium. Just barely manages to keep his gap to Drooply there by 8 tenths. So Vodka does finish on the podium. Drooply finishes 4th in the Mercedes. Chris finishing 5th in the Ferrari. And Pete the Newfie finishing 6th in the Red Bull. Awesome stuff. Driver of the day is going to go to Crispy Crunch. I would say it's well deserved, considering what happened in the Turn 1 incident between him and Chris, which I'm sure is going to be clipped for reviewing by the stewards. Because regardless, he still finished 2nd. He still finished over Chris, but, you know, he might still submit the clip. But other than that, it looked like pretty clean racing there, other than that Turn 1 incident. Looked pretty clean. Congrats to the podium. A Mercedes, a Haas, and a Aston Martin on the podium. Good stuff. You love to see it. And now we're going to get our podium in here for a quick post-race interview. Before we end things off here tonight, we're not going to be able to get Crispy Crunch in because he's on PC, but we will get Overlord and Vodka Victory in here. Just waiting to get Vodka in here now. There we go. Make sure you got your audio included there, fellas.
Yep.
Alrighty. We'll start off with you, Vodka. Congrats on managing to keep that gap to Drooply there at the end with that extra speeding in the pit lane penalty. Still kept together, got on the podium. What was your reaction to what happened at the beginning in Turn 1 there? You profited pretty well off that, I would say.
My reaction was, I don't know what the fuck's going on. I'm not involved. Let me through.
Yeah. Yeah, no, good stuff though, man. Still scored some good points there for you, you and your teammate, third and seventh there in the Aston Martin. Still a great duo, and unfortunately, you were you were up ahead, so you missed all the action behind because you were kind of just slotted between everyone else. But how was your race though overall?
Um, I don't know if this track is like kind of glitched within the system where they have to work on it a little bit more, but the tire management is almost near, it is impossible here. Um, but no, I mean it was a good race. I was just trying to keep my head down, and the track limits
Mm.
are a little ridiculous here. Not the track limits, but the warnings and stuff. Like you get, I got a warning for like locking up and sliding over the grass. No, I got a penalty for it. So whatever.
Yeah, yeah, they're pretty
But I
brutal
had a few
here.
good saves, and it was a fun race. So, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, all good, man. And then Overlord, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, man. You won the race. How was that?
It was good. I won by a pretty good margin because I saw that collision at the start, and from there everybody kind of slowed down, and it kind of gave me a bunch of clean air to continue. And then the two stop really helped with it. So, it was a nice calm race. So I'm glad.
Yeah, unfortunately, you also missed out on the action. There was a crazy four-car battle going on for the whole first 10 laps between Pete, Chris, Crunch, and Drupally. They were having a huge scrap. It was awesome to watch, I gotta say. So, but yeah, no, good stuff though, man.
Yeah.
Nice win for your teammate. Considering how bad of a week he had last week with his power going out and everything. so,
Yeah.
so yeah, no
Kind
good.
of. Yeah. I'm kind of. Sucks. I kind of missed the scrap, but I mean, it did. It didn't mean I didn't have anything happen to me. Still, a little bit of 50-50 on that, but yeah. Good.
But no, good stuff, fellas. We're going to end it off there now for tonight. Thanks for watching NACS. We'll be back same time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time next Saturday evening for our third race of the season, which is going to be the Azerbaijan Grand Prix at the Baku circuit. So with that, I'm your host, Sidonia Muse, and we'll talk to you next Saturday.
All right, man. Sounds good. See you next week.
All right, man. Cheers.